used to sit in the staff room at lunchtime and cut off millions of steaks.
Yep.
And then when the children came in, I usually put 5 steaks on each chair with the styrofoam cut, which had already been poked.
Which had already been.
So when they came and sat down,
poked with 11 holes.
11 holes. They had the steaks and they had the thing, and they were supposed to leave. I think I put it on the floor actually. Anyway, I didn't let them fiddle until I was ready to go, but it was much easier to do that because I didn't have to hand it out.
Right.
And they all had 5. And so, I did find it much easier to keep them sitting as much as possible.
Sure.
I agree. You
Are they
teach
on
now.
the
I
floor?
agree.
Are they sitting on the floor? Is it
Well,
best?
they sometimes were. I taught in all sorts of different places. Sometimes they were in chairs, sometimes they were on benches.
See, some of the schools are saying they want us to be in the classroom.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
I
great.
could have a little bit of fight about that.
Yeah,
Are you?
she'd rather
'Cause why?
they didn't.
I felt that it was much more personal. Here's Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
I felt it was much more personal if I had 10
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
rather than I was in this great big classroom and they were all sitting at their desks.
Oh, so you'd have 10 like in the cooking room or something?
Yeah, on the library, or
Yeah,
on the stage.
yeah.
And I had my nest,
Right.
and I would get 10 coming each time.
Yes, that's good.
And it was much easier.
Sure.
Sometimes if I had special ed people, they'd bring, and occasionally I had a parent, which was usually a nuisance.
Yeah.
Because they always told people to do it wrong.
Yes.
And I get so mad with the
No,
parents.
they don't listen.
And they wouldn't listen to me.
No, they don't.
And then they'd say, can I make one? And I'd have to say, well, actually, I'd rather you didn't, because you're supposed to be
right.
helping.
Yeah. That's right.
Anyway, so these are steaks, and the steaks are thick. And I found, actually, when I was in a hurry and had a lot of people, I would do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then chop them all up, because I knew I hadn't to do a lot. And all the short ones were all the ones that didn't make, 28 inches is actually quite long. It can be 26, so I always have a lot cut off. But it was just easier to do this in mass thing, and then I'd keep them in a bundle. And anyway,
Yeah.
it
So
worked
how
out.
do you think we should do that? Like once we get the schedule, should we get together again and have a steak cutting party?
Well, we probably could, and also, well, let me give you that for a moment. Now, I didn't actually talk to you about this. So I get those all ready ahead of time. This is the first weaver, which is much easier if you give everybody one weaver to begin with.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
they haven't been out choosing colours and it's,
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a
it's
spinner.
more sort of,
it's a
Yeah.
because I mean 10 people can get quite excited.
Yeah.
And there's only one of you. So
Right.
I discovered
Yeah.
that I would give them, I would pull these out and I would cut, and we can do it in a minute. This stuff isn't very nice. I like to hold on to that.
That's not nice.
No, it curls. It used to be
Oh,
straight.
does it? Do you want me to cut that?
Well, in a minute. And I would think that would be enough for one. Maybe because I've got there. I mean, there's no right and wrong.
No.
That could probably be 2 pieces.
Okay.
So I would probably put a whole lot in my bucket.
So it's already sitting in the water
So
the
it's
whole
all
day.
nice
Yeah.
and getting cold and getting wet and it's getting ready. But then, of course, you have the business of what colour they're going to use. And so they start off, they don't choose their colours yet.
Well, if they have that, it's natural, so they don't have to talk about color.
We don't have to, so when they've used this bit up,
Yeah.
we're into the
And
next
that's
stage.
the
Then we're into the color. Yeah.
So it's usually chaos. I use the back of chairs to hang my stuff over. We'll wet this. And I'm very fussy about where they pull it out of. And they always have to pull it out of this end. Because if they
the
pull it out
bones,
of the other
yeah,
end,
tangles
then
up.
it gets
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
muddled up. So I usually say, but I like to have it wet when it's hanging up. So I have a whole lot of wet blue stuff. And they can just come up and get a blue one, you see, and use it.
Yeah.
And then they can come up and get more. And it's easier if they don't have to put this in the water, if it's already wet.
Yeah.
So
So
then
have you soaked it in advance, Sankrit?
I've wet it before, yes.
At your house?
No,
At the
it
school?
only takes a few minutes.
Okay.
Oh, it's just a few minutes?
Just a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes.
And it'll hold the moisture for how long?
Well, I think it all depends on heating and dryness and everything else, but usually it's okay.
Okay.
It's not doing violent stuff. It's only going round and round.
Yeah.
It's not going
Right. It's not
corners.
doing anything too elaborate.
No. So, and I usually have, and I sometimes, if I'm feeling energetic, I discuss colour. And it's quite interesting. Out of all the hundreds of kids I taught, I only had one child that ever did the whole thing in plain, which is interesting. I never knew if he was a psychological. I've got loops.
But some of your baskets are in plain, so he was probably using yours as
Well, I didn't,
model.
yes, but I think these are the ones that...
Those are the ones you brought. You didn't bring your plain ones.
Well, yes, but I did, but these weren't... Anyway, maybe you're right. But I always put some of this up. And I'm going to have to play a little bit with this because, as I said, this is thicker. And we might discourage the thick stuff until we get... But we can try. I didn't have much trouble. I used the thick stuff on this. And I thought
Well,
it...
with for grade 3, 4, and 5, do you think the thick stuff is?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
okay.
do too.
It makes a stronger basket,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Right.
And we've certainly got lots of it.
Right.
And it's lovely colours. I've got
It
this
is.
colour.
But the blue is thin, right?
This is me.
Yeah.
This is actually me too. I dyed these. But I don't mind being the dyer, because I'm used to dyeing. But usually, for each school, I would take about 4 or 5 colours.
So we will be dyeing our own before we take it?
No, I think what we'll do is we'll have a nest schoolhouse where we'll have
Our supplies.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a list of what we need. You know.
Are we going to ask the schools to tell us how many?
Yes.
Okay, so we do have to know.
We definitely need to know how many we've got in each school. And I don't think we want more than 10.
No.
No.
So
Per
10 is-
session.
10
so
is
10
the-
in the morning, 10 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Now,
not the
I don't
same
mind
group.
if it's a 5, 6, and it's not a very big school.
Right.
I suggest we take the 5s and 6s.
Yeah,
So
well,
I think it's a bit
that's
mean to
sacred
cut out,
rights.
you know, particularly
Yeah.
if it's a divided class.
Right.
We'll be elastic. But 1 and 2, it's pretty small.
People. 1 and 2.
And grades.
Oh, grade 1 and 2. No, we told the schools grade 3 to 5, but Sacred Heart said, oh, but we have a split 5, 6. So
Yeah.
Anchoret's saying we can just add the grade 6s,
Yeah.
but not the grade 2s.
No, I mean, I've done it with 2s, but they are a bit small and they've
They are
got
a bit-
teeny weeny
yeah,
hands.
Right.
You know.
So we'll try to stick with that. Yeah.
So now I should just talk about the puncturing of the styrofoam cups. I'm sorry we have to use styrofoam cups, but everybody hates them.